What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video I'll be showing a simple method on how to draw a knot. Welcome everyone and thanks for joining me today. For this lesson we need a sketch pad and a pencil. I'm going to be drawing with this 2B Stadler pencil, but I encourage you to use whatever you're most comfortable with. Now the first thing we're going to do is plan out the shape of our sketch. Let's start at the very top in the middle. It's going to sketch a line coming down the center of our page. Now the rope's going to come all the way down from top to bottom. Now we're going to be placing the knot in the center of our page. So we want to modify this line. So in the center, let's curve this around and then out toward the left. And it's going to bend this back in towards the center. Let's go all the way around, back in. Now I just want to pull this back in and underneath and then down towards the center line. So coming through and then just blend in towards that center line. Now to avoid any confusion, we're just going to take out that line in the center. Now this line is going to be the center of our rope. So we want to add some thickness. So just going to trace this line along the outside. So let's start with the top. We're going to step over. Now you can determine the width of our rope by just going out further or closer. Come down. I'm just going to bend this in and around. Let's follow this back around the right side. And just continue all the way around and then down towards the bottom. Now we're going to do the same thing on the right side of that center line. So let's move out, and again, just determine the thickness of this rope by how far we go away from that center line. Coming in, and then all the way back down towards the bottom. Now I want to go back and take out that center line, but also determine which area is going to overlap one another. So it's going to start with the top area, just taking this out. Now this rope is going to overlap the back side. I'm just going to bring that down to right about there. Now this loop is going to go on top, coming around and then back in. Let's overlap this part on the bottom. Now that we define the shape of the rope and determine which areas are going to overlap one another, we want to go back and modify the shape. So this rope, we're just going to pull this out. So along the bottom, it's going to bend this out and then up. So it's not so straight. Just give it a slight bend coming in. Now this area is going to wrap around and out. Let's overlap this area on top, just slightly. I'm going to wrap this around the back side. Pull this in. And we just want to make sure that this lines up across the bottom. So I'm just going to pull this out further. And bend this out and then down towards the bottom, just giving a slight wave. Now I can go back and do another cleanup before we get into the details. Now to make our drawing look even better, we're going to give this a rope texture. So let's start along this top area. Starting from the bottom, we're going to bend this up in towards the middle and then up towards the top. So just rounding out the side, step up, and just repeat this all the way up towards the top. It's almost like an S curve going across. And then we also want to round out the ends. So in between each of the lines, we just want to bump this out. And then just tucking that in underneath. Now as you come along the bottom, it's going to curve that texture. Starting down here, go across and then up. I'm going to start to bend this down, and bend this out toward the side. And again, just rounding out the ends. We're just kind of tucking that in behind each other. Just going to round out the inside. Now let's add some texture around this swirl, going up towards the top, coming down at an angle, curving that in. Now as you go out towards the side, we're just going to bend this up. And again, it's going to round out the ends. Now along this side, we're going to start from the top, go across and then down. Then along the bottom, I'm going to curve down and then out. Now I'm just going to do one final cleanup. Now once we're happy with the composition, we're going to go in and add some contrast. We're just going to trace out our contours. And at any stage we can modify the shape if we need to. Now you want to give a rope some shape by adding some light and shadows. We're going to imagine that lights come from the top going across, so the shadows sit along the bottom edge of each shape. So let's start with the general shadows first. So this area right here is going to cast a shadow coming down. So using the side edge of our pencil, it's going to darken up the top, and then just gradually fade that down. We'll do the same thing in this area, just darkening up that area across the top, and then fading that down. Also on the inside, on the left. And then the bottom. Now we're also going to shift the shadow over towards the right side. So on the right side of this rope, darken that up and just fade that across. Now along the bottom of each section, we're just going to darken that up and then fade that up towards the top. And this will help give it some roundness and shape. Now to enhance the shape, we're going to add a core shadow across the bottom. That means we're going to leave a little gap and then just shade that up. So just darken out that edge. And we do that to each section going across. I want to go back and just darken up our contrast. Just darken up the shadow areas. Now inside each section, we're going to add some fine texture, going up from the bottom. Now, as we get closer to the end, I'm just going to tighten up my contrast and always be sure to sign my artwork. And that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of a simple knot. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you do, please be sure to subscribe for more videos each week where I'll show how to draw simple things just like this. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.